There are many ways in which the upcoming season for the Calgary Flames can be a success, but there are way more ways that it probably won't be all that successful. With the team headed towards a rebuild, the wins probably won't be adding up. But with that being said, there are still ways in which this season can be a huge success for certain individuals, which will decide overall if this season will be a success or not for our beloved Calgary Flames. We're going to dive into it, but first I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. Without further ado, you've seen the guys on the thumbnail already, but let's get into the first one and talk about how this could be a successful season for Huberdeau. I mean, let's just say so far the season's haven't been all that successful for Jonathan Huberdeau since coming to Cowtown. We know what he was when he was over in Florida. I mean, sure, we can come up with so many excuses that he, maybe had better coaching, had better line mates, had better chemistry, just the whole situation in Florida was better, yada, yada, yada. No matter what, it has been extremely disappointing, but that doesn't mean that this season can't be at least a success on the individual level for Jonathan Huberdeau. So we're going to dive into this article, first of all, from Ian Buchanan, and it is defining a successful season for Flames star forward. And of course, as I showed before, it is Jonathan Huberdeau we are talking about. So how can this season be a success for the players that we know are going to be here? I know a lot of people will say this season will be successful if we finish 32nd overall. And you'd be right. This season would be successful if we get rid of, maybe some bigger contracts of players that are actually tradable, like Rasmus Andersson, maybe even Kadri and Coleman. And yeah, that would be successful too. But for the players who are going to be here, how can this be a successful season? How will this decide whether this season is a success or not for the Calgary Flames? I've never said success and successful so many times in my entire life. Get a tally going because it's happening way more times in this video. But let's dive in. Redefining success. There you go. It took 2 words. But redefining success for Huberdeau. It's easy to look back at the disappointment that Huberdeau's time in Calgary has been to this point. However, the reality is Huberdeau will be part of this Flames team for the foreseeable future. So let's redefine how we look at Huberdeau and what it will take for him to have a successful season this year. And no, we're not expecting him to hit the 115 points again or get, pretty much 100 assists, break the record for assists for a winger kind of thing. It ain't happening, but this season could still be a success on that level, which could translate into the future. If Huberdeau's having, somewhat successful seasons now, it could build up confidence. Things could get a lot better for the future. Maybe some chemistry is built, some trust is built in the organization, and his happiness goes back up, which is exactly what you want. I mean, for anyone, but especially for a supposedly star player. But let's continue. It's clear that the 115-point campaign of 2021-22 was a career year and won't be replicated. There's nothing wrong with this, but the goal for Huberdeau and the Flames should be to get him closer to a point per game player. Anything over 70 points this year should be considered successful. So yes, from a statistics standpoint, a 70-point year or above would be a huge, huge success for Huberdeau after the past couple very disappointing seasons. In addition to simply putting up points, Huberdeau has to step up as a leader. The Flames have moved out a lot of veterans in the last year, and rumors are swirling around Rasmus Andersson and Nazem Kadri. Trade rumors, of course. If more veterans move out, Huberdeau will have to take on more of a leadership role. As the Flames rebuild their roster, Huberdeau can help guide and shape the young roster. So yes, he really needs to take the next step when it comes to leadership. Does he have a lack of leadership? Not necessarily, but you can tell he's not the most passionate vocal guy out there. And in no way are we saying, look, he needs to be like a captain, but definitely taking that next step towards leadership, especially if he will be here for the remaining years of his contract. We definitely need that, as he is already a veteran, but will be even more so of a veteran for all the young guys coming out of the pipeline. Let's wrap up this article with one more thing. Lastly, Huberdeau needs to get back to enjoying the game. After what appeared to be the most miserable year of his career in 2022-23, he seemed to take a step back to enjoying the game last season. And it is true, maybe it had to do with coaching. Huberdeau must continue to find positivity in his game and bring the right attitude to the rink, regardless of his personal results. As a key player for this franchise, he can set the Flames' culture. He can keep the locker room from getting into a negative state even when wins are hard to come by. If Huberdeau can accomplish some of the goals listed above, it will be easier for fans to look past the contract and see him as a positive player for the franchise. So already we've accepted, the contract. It's terrible. It's the worst in the league. The trade, we got fleeced in a way. And it's just been awful, in terms of what Huberdeau has brought statistically. But there are so many things that he can still contribute. And it will decide this upcoming season for the Flames in terms of culture, in terms of positivity, happiness, and looking into the future as well, not just at this upcoming season. So this really is huge here. We need Huberdeau to step up in more ways than one, but we don't expect him to smash, 100 points or more. Now let's get into the second player of this video, and it is success for Zary. So kind of defining what that can be for him. We don't really have any untradables on this team, and Zary is as close as it gets to being kind of an untouchable in the Flames organization. But that being said, who knows what could happen. But either way, Zary is definitely going to be here for this season, and most likely for the foreseeable future. So again, another article, I can't believe this came up, pretty much within the same day, but Jeff Middleton here, he wrote, what does a successful 2024-25 season look like for Connor Zary? So we've got two big names here and pretty much the same sort of idea for an article. So let's hop into what it means for Zary. Essentially, the way this starts is that he had a good rookie season and, was talking really well about him. But what does a successful sophomore season look like for Zary? Well, the easy answer is an increase in point production would define his success. His 34 points in 63 games is an impressive total for a rookie coming into a new situation on a below average team. And now, with that NHL experience, he can find chemistry in the Flames' top six. Totally true. And it would be nice to see him get more points and hopefully play 82 games as well. However, while that increase in point production is the most important step, backing that offensive output up with an adequate expected goal number is the insurance policy. Driving the offense that he creates both at even strength and on the power play is a great way to ensure more success in the future. So yeah, bumping up those statistics would look great. Again, in no way are we expecting Connor Zary to get 100 points. Not even a point per game, but, at least 50 points. Would love to see at least a 20-goal season sort of thing. With an increased role, he has the potential to do it and the opportunity to do it. We'll just have to see if it does come to fruition. But, fingers crossed, of course. In addition to bumping up the number of his expected goals on offense, continuing his strong play on defense from last season is critical to helping himself and his team. So there you go again. It will decide the Flames season, his play, Huberdeau's play. I know we could say that about all players, but especially the guys that we know are going to be here, of course. The Flames have shored up their blue line, but forward defense, especially from players in the top six, always ensures you receive the most ice time and help your team win. And it looks like Zary will get every opportunity to do so. It will be interesting to see just what improvements Zary has made over the offseason, but if he can build on next season's impressive production, he can be a major contributor on a Flames team that needs the young players to step up. And that's, of course, for this upcoming season and for the future as well. We always talk about the future. We have to as Flames fans right now. We can't be stuck in the present. But either way, Huberdeau, Zary, they need to step it up in more way than one, and they can have a very successful season. And then the Flames themselves and the fan base can call this season a success, as we know we aren't expected to do all that much in the win column. Now let's wrap up this video with the comment of the day, as we love to do. And this one has to do with the last video about MacKenzie Weegar trade rumors of all things. And I just thought this was an honest comment, and I wanted to talk about it. So Tyler said here, all these rumors are silly. Kadri, Weegar, two best players from last year. Who is going to play? And you know what? The trade rumors, honestly, a lot of them do end up being quite a bit silly when you think about it. I mean, the last video is more so just showing that the Flames are willing to trade MacKenzie Weegar and have had trade talks about him when a lot of us thought there's no way he would ever be traded, but it is true here. I mean, Kadri and Weegar going through the trade rumor mill is absolutely nuts. Who the heck is going to play? It'll be the young guns. Sometimes the trade rumors end up being right. I mean, we were right about Tanev to Dallas. We were right about Hanifin to Vegas. Of course, we were right about Markstrom to New Jersey, but even Mangiapane to Washington was called quite a while before it ended up happening. So sometimes they do happen. Are we saying Weegar's going to St. Louis? No, of course not, but I do agree. A lot of trade rumors are silly, and who knows who will get the chance to play for the Flames next season. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to like what you saw here today, and have a wonderful rest of your day.